Hey there, second grade. How's everybody doing today? And welcome back to another remote learning math lesson with Mr. Enzi. So, before we get started today, everybody should have picked up their school supplies. Or if you are in school, you should have brought some stuff home. And hopefully, you have the grade 2 Math resource pack at home. Inside it, there's lots of different templates for math that we can use. And what we're going to do today is you're going to look through this pack and you're going to pull out the number grid. And then the number grid you're going to place inside that sheet protector. So it slides right into the sheet protector. And then I can use a dry erase marker and I can write on my sheet protector. I can erase it, and then I can write again. So I can do some work on my number grid, erase it, do some work again, over and over and over again. So you're going to want to find that number grid in your Math resource packet and get that ready before I shrink myself into the corner. Today, we are going to be doing grade 2 lesson 1.10, skip counting patterns. And you will need your number grid, sheet protector, your dry erase marker, and an eraser. I use sometimes a tissue, a Kleenex, an old sock will work also. So, skip counting patterns. So let's go over some words here. Skip counting. What does that mean? Well, you've been doing it since kindergarten. Skip counting is a method of counting where we add the same number over and over again. A lot of times your teachers don't say, let's skip count. They say, let's count by tens. And then the whole class counts by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Well, we're adding 10 every time because we're counting by tens, or we're skip counting. So we're going to be working with some skip counting in today's lesson. But we're also going to be looking at a pattern. Now, a pattern is something that repeats because of a rule. My first pattern is a shape pattern. I see some shapes. I see a triangle, a rectangle, a triangle, a rectangle, a triangle, a rectangle, and that pattern can continue on and on and on because I know a triangle would come next, and then a rectangle, and then a triangle, and then a rectangle, triangle, rectangle, on and on and on. Now, I also see a color pattern. I see yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue. So we can have shape patterns, color patterns, but we can also have number patterns. And when we skip count, we are creating number patterns. Look at this one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, on and on and on. It's following a rule. Every time we're adding 5 more because we're skip counting by 5s. So another type of a pattern is a number pattern. All right, today we're going to be looking at patterns on a number grid. So for this activity, you will need your number grid and your dry erase marker. Because what we are going to do on our number grid is we are going to count by a certain number. We're going to skip count. But every time we say that number, we're going to go ahead and circle it. Let's start. We'll do it together, and I bet you will be able to finish this. So on our number grid, we are going to count by tens. So we have 0, and then we say 10, 20, 30. Now, I want you to circle all the numbers that you say when you count by tens. Go ahead and do it on your number grid that is inside the sheet protector. I'm going to do it right here on the screen. And then we're going to see if we get the same answers. Wow, some of you are fast. You must have discovered a pattern. Now, I highlighted mine. You would be better off just circling yours. You wouldn't want to color it. Takes too long, uses too much marker. But now when I look at every number that I circled or highlighted, I circled 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And when I look at all those numbers that I highlighted, I see something that repeats. I notice a couple of things. I notice that in the ones place, which is the very last number, every digit is a 0. It always ends in 0 when I'm counting by tens and starting at 0. Wow, that's a pattern. And I notice another pattern. In the tens place, the numbers are increasing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So every time we count by tens and say another number, the digit in the tens place is increasing. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to take the numbers 30 and 40. The number 30 has 3 tens and 0 ones. The number 40 has 4 tens and 0 ones. And in my ones place, all of my digits are 0. And in my tens place, all of my digits are increasing by 1. 30, 40, 50 would come next, because here we are counting by tens, and we started at 0. All right, let's go ahead and erase our number grid so it's clear again, because now we're going to count by a different number. This time we're going to skip count by fives, and we're going to start at 0, and we're going to circle every number we say. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right, I want you to keep going. See if you've discovered a pattern as you count by fives and circle all of those numbers. I'm going to do the same on my number grid. Some of you are quick. You noticed a pattern. So let's talk about this one. Does anybody see any patterns? Well, I know from counting by tens, I saw some patterns. In the ones place, the digit was always a 0. And that's true again when we count by fives. But this time, there's also another digit in the ones place. And this time, we have some fives. So when I count by 5 and I'm starting at 0, my numbers end in a 5 or a 0. And we also seem to be counting up in our tens place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, If I kept going, be another 5. So I see a pattern in both places. So let me write some down so we can take a better look. Oh, let's see. 20, 25, 30, 35. And there you can see that in the ones place, I have all zeros and 5s. And in the tens place, I have 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. I'd have 2 4s, 40, 45. So there's lots of patterns in numbers, and there's especially lots of patterns when we skip count. Go ahead and clear your number grid with your eraser, or your sock, or your tissue, so it's nice and clean, because this time we're going to count by 2s. All right, so let's get ready here. We're going to start counting by 2s together. If we start at 0 and I count by 2s, the first number I get to is 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. If I keep counting by 2s, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. I'm always skipping a number. Skip, say it. Skip, say it. Skip, say it. If I kept going, 22, 24. You should start to see a pattern. Go ahead and finish counting by 2s. Circle all of those numbers. I'm going to do it here on the screen while you're finishing it on your sheet protector and number grid. While some of you have discovered a shortcut. That's impressive. I'm going to stop at 50. If you want to stop at 50, you can. If you want to take it all the way to 100, you can do that too. Now I see some patterns here when I look at all those numbers that I circled. Well, let's use some math words. Which digits do you see in the ones place? Remember that the ones place is the very last digit in the number. I see lots of 2s. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. What else do you see? I see lots of 4s. I also see lots of 6s and lots of 8s and lots of 0s, all in the ones place. I don't see any 3s in the ones place of the numbers that I've circled when I count by 2s, starting at 0. Pretty cool. So let me write down some of those numbers for you so we can take a better look at the patterns. So we had the number, let's go 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. You can see in my ones place, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 0. Do you know a number that ends with 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0 has a special name? We call them even numbers. Wow, pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and clear off of our sheet protector because we're going to try one more together. Now, I want to show you that skip counting can get a little different if we're not starting at 0. I have a number grid that takes me into the hundreds. So you don't have a number grid that's this high. But I want to show you that sometimes, if I'm not starting at 0, I have to be very careful when I count by a number. So this direction says to start at 104 and count by 5s. Color the counts. You may use your calculator if you need one. I can just hop on a number grid. So I have to start at 104. Oh, here's 104. There it is. And I have to count by 5s. So I'm going to hop 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. I just skip counted by 5. Now I have to count another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 114. Now I have to count another 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 119. Now what do you think my next number would be if I'm counting by 5s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 124. This time I didn't start at 0. So my patterns are going to be different. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 129. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 134. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 139. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 144. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 149. Wow! Let's see if we can find any patterns here. So my first number is 104, and then it's 109. I'm going to write that down. 104, 109. So I have the ones place, the tens place, and now I'm in the hundreds place. So then I had 114, 119. 114 and 119. I see some patterns. What digit is in my ones place? 4, 9, 4, 9. Every time there's a 4 or a 9 in my ones place. That's a special pattern when I count by 5s starting at 104. So you can see there are lots of patterns when we skip count in math. Your job today in Seesaw is going to be to complete a number grid problem where you are going to have to do some skip counting. So go ahead and get started. I can't wait to see how you do. Have a great day, and we'll see everybody real soon.